present just briefly a simple economic model called PHET theory. It's something we devised while I was working at the Department of Science and Technology in South Africa. And really there are four main factors, four main contributors to the return on investment of a science project. So the government, which sits at the table here, the science project, will use tax-funded monies, and from it they will extract economic benefit from things such as prestige, the science written by the scientists, human capital development, students educated by teachers, professors, etc., economic activity driven by entrepreneurs, and that includes things such as business development, things like that, and finally tech transfer or technology development. And that's driven by engineers. So really you have these four areas: prestige, human capital development, economic activity, and tech transfer. I mean, the top two are pretty clear. If the project is prestigious, if it draws attention from the entire globe, it'll actually spot a very positive light on Tanzania, or shine a very positive light on Tanzania, and that will lead to the opportunity to attract young researchers and senior researchers to universities in Tanzania, thus helping the economy of Tanzania. Human capital development goes without saying, really. Here we're talking about producing students in STEM, so engineers, scientists, technicians, millwrights, etc., people that work on various aspects of the telescope. And the more people that touch the telescope from this area, the more the impact that the science project will have on the economy of Tanzania. I'm going to skip the third one for a second and go to technology transfer. Hopefully we'll be doing technology development in the country, because that really does maximize this, when you have companies developing the technology that'll be used in the science project. But even without that, every telescope that's built is basically cutting edge engineering. It's really engineering on steroids. So everything about a science project of this nature, astronomy, is generally implying you're using cutting edge technologies. And therefore you're giving engineers a chance to work on new technologies which they can in turn move into the industries of Tanzania itself. So you want to create positions where people can come and work and touch the telescope, work on the technology, and then go away to your telecoms companies, or become a programmer at universities, or work on equipment, signal processing equipment at hospitals or radar stations, etc. And that's how you optimize technology transfer. But I want to talk about economic activity, and this is really the odd man out in science. And what I mean by that is scientists typically do not talk about the economic activity around astronomy. They don't worry about it. It's not their bread and butter. They want to look at the science. The engineers want to play with the technology. The educators want to help students learn and graduate. But what we want to do also is we want to improve or maximize the economic return of any kind of investment in science. So whether the money's coming from overseas or locally, you always want to optimize this factor right here. So you do that by astro-tourism as a simple example, and not even directly related to going to see the telescope. Astro-tourism could mean selling t-shirts, or selling pretty pictures in newspapers or online services, news services. Or it could be restaurants that cater to people that want to come and go to the observatory or work at the observatory. So those are sort of activities in and around astronomy that are not related to the actual operations of the telescope that add value. Other things, of course, and I'll talk about them in more detail, there's really one very exciting aspect of Kilimanjaro Telescope project that really caters to this particular activity. So, in conclusion, PHET theory really is a simple way for the government to look at a project and optimize and maximize the economic return from a project by maximizing prestige, what the scientists are doing, the number of students who are developed, human capital development, the economic activity around the project, and also importantly, the technology being transferred into the project. So that is our simple economic model that we're going to work with for the rest of this talk.